AD look today?
He doesn't look bad in terms of his willingness to go out there last night, rather. Everybody knows he was hurt. A matter of fact, the person taking a little bit of heat from it was Frank Vogel, because you could see on the first play of the game that Anthony Davis was grimacing. You saw it, first play of the game. And CP3 instantly saw it, being the killer that he is. CP3 and had everybody on Phoenix. If you go back, and Kendrick Perkins saw this, if you go back and watch the first few plays of the game, everybody that Anthony Davis was guarding touched the ball, because they were trying to get him up out of there, because they could see that he just could not go, okay? And Frank Vogel, for some reason, kept him in for 5 minutes when he should have been out in 1. Having said all of that, feeling the pressure, he went out there and tried to play. And it was right for him to try. You know, I felt he should have tried. Charles Barkley called him street clothes, felt he should have tried, along with various others. And that much is true. But in the end, I would say he looks good because of that. But here's why he doesn't look great. Because he's perpetually injured. And when you have a teammate who's the superstar, who's 36 years of age in his 18th season, well documented that he spends more than $1.5 million every year taking care of his body. Everybody's looking at Anthony Davis because of the multitude of injuries he suffered from. And they're saying, what the hell are you doing with your body? How much work do you really put in the offseason? How much do you train? How much do you get in that gym? What are your eating habits like? They're starting to bring stuff like that up because he's always hurt.
Anthony Davis looks good this morning. We look bad. We look bad. He looks good. First of all, Charles Barkley did call him street clothes. I called him Mr. Glass. Stephen A., you were on TV saying, I'm not trying to hear he needs to wait to get cleared. That's it. He needs to play if he can play. Forget about waiting to get cleared. So you know what happened? AD played. It was a valiant effort, right? And you could see right away, everything you said is right about that. He should not have been out there on the floor. And by the way, it discombobulated the Lakers, having him out there. There didn't seem to be a plan if he couldn't play. Like, how are we going to play this? And so they quickly fell behind 20-plus points. And by the way, once AD was out and they adjusted and LeBron started taking over, they cut it to single digits. The team looked like they'd given up. They were going to get buried. They might lose by 40. It was close to 30 at one point. But they got it together, and they cut it to single digits late in the game. Maybe, if they don't play AD from the beginning, maybe they win. And by the way, what was the plan there? Because let's say AD could have played a little bit, and they won with AD, and they got to a Game 7. Now AD can't play at all. What was the point in even playing him in Game 6 when he was hobbled, clearly couldn't play, and it would have precluded him from playing in a Game 7, which you would have needed just as much? Did not make sense to me. He looks good. He went out there and gave it his best shot. He's just physically not built like LeBron. I don't think all the work in the world will change that. We look bad. We are all the ones saying, oh, he's got to play. Look how it turned out.
Well, first of all, Max, who is we? Because I never said that it was a must that he needed to play. Matter of fact, I was one of the guys, if you go back to the Golden State days when Kevin Durant played, that I said he didn't need to play. Why? Because he was still injured when Kevin Durant played with Golden State and he strained his Achilles. I said, don't play. You have nothing else to prove. And the same with Anthony Davis. We're talking about a guy who just came off of winning his first championship. What the hell do you have to prove to go out there and play hurt to the world? And then, hey, look, Charles Barkley calling the man street clothes. See, that's the problem that we have in today's game, okay, that they didn't have back then, was that we have social media. We have so many outlets where these guys can see what people are saying about them to put the pressure on them to go out there for 5 minutes like Anthony Davis did last night and show the world that he was too hurt to play. This is not golf. This is not where you have a court where you can have somebody driving you around or you walk to a hole and swing some clubs or something. You need your legs. And the man clearly didn't have his legs. So in my opinion, when I look at Anthony Davis and look at what he did last night, it wasn't about the Lakers. It wasn't about trying to go out there and help his team win. He went out there to try to please people and show people that don't even matter. That we don't matter. Like, you have nothing to prove to the world. Nothing. You just won a championship. And at the end of the day, I want to talk about this, Stephen A. To your point about Anthony Davis getting in the gym. You're 100% right. Because you're right there under LeBron James. He shows you on a day-to-day basis a guy that been on the team with LeBron James, and watch how he operates and watch how he moves throughout the course of the day, taking care of his body, getting in the gym early, hitting the weight room, doing things to that nature, his diet and hiring in the chef. Anthony Davis, you have to elevate to that aspect.
Right.
This offseason is huge for him. You want to see a transformation in his body.
Right.
And Stephen A., you was dead on with that point.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.